Amazing evening, Nigeria. Welcome to Updates. It's Precious here. Sorry. So I have kata cough. I'm under the weather terribly so, and it's been a very busy period for me. It's always a very busy period, but later on, I will know busy at the cook when we can be busy. But welcome to the show, by the way. Another day to talk about Nigerian politics and things that happen for inside Nigeria. My name is Precious Inye, and it's always a delight to be with you to bring you all of this conversation concerning Nigeria and things we get to do with our development. So, I carry a few stories come. Some of them you may not have heard in mainstream media. And what to make I could bring a common at the mouth and make on a hear. All right. Today on a Friday, so as usual, I get my Friday tonic, a Monday, Friday Sunday tonic for inside the house. But before I let him into the studio, make I quickly run on through the updates. Then we say I get sharply. So from the updates here, there's this exclusive conversation about how residents for inside Kwara communities, they alarmed as truckloads of suspected Fulani headers don't flock border communities for Kwara State. And this one don't cause a lot of panic because people don't they say, what is going on here? Which one be this level again? We say they happen. People are terrified, and I'll let you in on the details of that conversation as we proceed on the show today. In fact, I want to look whether I go even get some of their images set, make I show you the truckload they bring them out. So they say Lisa one person saying a python they become make it not be like saying I made the race false alarm so that on a go see them as it take happen. Right. And this one don't cause a lot of tension around Kwara State, especially considering the kind of crisis where Kwara State don't face recently uh, for insecurity. So this now another wahala for inside Kwara State. And we will talk about that one. We will also talk about other issues, especially the alleged coup plots. We'll also speak about that. But let me let you in on that conversation very quickly. That's it there. The truckload of the headers that we just they land. In fact, they say different truckloads according to the reports. Truckloads. So not be one truck, not be two truck. You can see them. So they come down for the truck then different. And people have been worried for inside the communities. So I say we will talk about that matter when the time reach. Now, moving on to other issues very quickly. How Tinubu removed service chiefs amid alleged coup probe. Detention of 16 military officers by DIA. That one they will be put out inside. And then another exclusive of soldiers as they raise alarm. They say Nigerian army, they force them to work with repentant Boko Haram fighters that they don't trust. That they are forced to work with repentant Boko Haram fighters that they don't trust. That's another serious conversation we will put inside. And hey, not be me write these headlines. So go some media outlets, SaharaReporters get them, some other media outlets get this conversation. So just type the headline, you will see them for their platforms. This is not me. I don't write the news, I report them from sources. When I won't hold the sources, then we be say writes the stories. Now, you go find out how Tinubu sacked Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa, replace him with Oluyede as in reshuffle and sack some people and reshuffle security chiefs. My witnesses are coming from Ethiopia, Kenya, others. Nnamdi Kanu tells court. Nnamdi Kanu's defense team decries denial of fair hearing, lists irregularities in court proceedings. Okay. Shawari not arrested. Police now they talk this one, but to go look into the matter and drama we play out for that Shawari case. Okay. And then we move on. As very embarrassing, Wike speaks on Governor Diri's resignation from PDP. And then Kwankwaso don't talk, say for 2027, say NNPP they very open to alliance with Tinubu, Jonathan, even Peter Obi. So say they're very, very open to alliance. Is this saying something? Okay. Peter Obi says Nigeria will remain economically imbalanced if Tinubu keeps pouring port funds into Lagos alone. Why not decentralize the ports for inside Nigeria? We will also look into that matter as Peter Obi take talk. Jonathan has not told me he will run in 2027, so I owe him nothing. And so Wike they talk. 2027 bid, if they can probe Jonathan within hours, but still find nothing on him, on Peter Obi, then he is a saint. And so in some Nigerians then don't talk with that really. Court grants Shawari Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and others bail, 500,000 naira bail. And then FATF removes Nigeria from global financial watch list. I am very particularly impressed about this particular conversation because as somebody will be remote worker where I gets foreign remittances from my remote jobs and work, this is a lot of relief because if you know this incident don't make for a while now, you know if we get direct wire transfer from Nigeria, so I hope that this will be resolved after now. Now, reps move to limit president's control over EFCC chair. This one, another very correct story. So, presidents no go get control over EFCC chair alone. Again, But wait, people can say, wait, excuse me. Now, because of, say, the EFCC chair, they pursue owner, rep members, and National Assembly members if una go against the president. So, now, what's make una won't do that one? Could that be? Well, I don't know. That's what people are saying. My people, Lorna, welcome to the show. Another beautiful day to talk about things that happen for inside the country. My name again, Na Precious. Oh yeah, joining me for inside the studio. Now, the fair Prince Francis Chinaka. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Yeah, Precious, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you? I hope so you do okay, sir.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, all right. Let's get started with the conversation. I mean, I wanted us to start with the service chiefs issue, but let's start with this issue of new people with the board flood borders. It may be a long read, but you permit me to be able to take these stories so that Nigerians can understand and make it not be like say na me talk am because it would be very important. Make I narrate the incident as the people will report them use write am. So they say what they call them lizard wey one person see na python na e dey become. Now, the story goes thus that troubling reports have emerged from remote communities in Kaiama and Baruten local government areas of Kwara State, where residents say truckloads, not be load, oh, loads with S, truckloads of Fulani headers from various parts of Nigeria and possibly beyond Nigeria are being transported in registration centers of Independent National Electoral Commission INEC for voter registration, according to that. Now, residents describe the ongoing mobilization as massive and unprecedented, sparking concerns over possible political manipulation and security implications in the border regions. Now, Kaiama and Baruten local government areas, both Batunu speaking areas, share a porous border with the Republic of Benin, making cross border movements easy and difficult to monitor. According to INEC, the ongoing nationwide continuous voters registration CVR exercise began with online pre-registration on August 18, 2025, followed by in-person registration at local government offices and designated centers starting August 25, 2025. However, the exercise is expected to run into August 30, 2026. Meanwhile, multiple sources have told reporters, SaharaReporters one of them, that for several weeks, trucks have been seen offloading large numbers of Fulani headers at registration points across Kayama and Baruten communities. They started bringing them about a month ago, said one resident who spoke on condition of anonymity. We began noticing strange faces coming in groups to register for PVCs. We don't know what's going on, but it's worrying. We have legitimate Fulani residents here, oh, but how do we tell who's local and who's being brought in for that particular purpose? That's what or other purposes. That's what the residents are saying. Now, another community source expressed frustration over the influx, calling it an organized mobilization, an organized mobilization effort that raises red flags about electoral integrity, local power plays, and possible demographic manipulation. Now, residents fear that the growing number of mobile headers registering in their localities could be linked to efforts to influence future elections or, more dangerously, a prelude to land disputes and resource conflicts in the largely agrarian region. I don't know whether you understand this particular part. Land disputes have been a land grabbing. Kwara State has, in recent years, grappled with worsening security challenges, including kidnapping, banditry, and header farmer clashes, or whatever it is they call it, because I hate to call it that, terrorism, particularly in its northern and southern hinterlands. Several residents have accused Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of failing to address the insecurity and the influx of unidentified persons into the state. Now, an INEC staff member in Baruten who spoke on condition of anonymity said that their duty is to register all eligible Nigerians who are residents or work within the local government areas. Under INEC guidelines, he said, anyone registering must either live or work in the local government as long as the officers verify identity and residency properly. That shouldn't be an issue. We go register the person. That's what they talk. No further due diligence needed. Now, still, locals insist, that is, villagers in those places insist that the scale and coordination of the ongoing voter registration drive in the border communities are so unusual as to be hard to ignore and could have far-reaching consequences for the state's political and security stability ahead of 2027 general elections. On September 9, 2025, there was reports that the staff members of INEC in Patigi and Edu local government areas of the state had abandoned their duty post and locked up their offices, citing escalating wave of kidnapping and bandit attacks. So if these people going to complain about this bandit attack, then what's happening with this influx again? Now, top security sources have said that the operatives in the intelligence community had advised INEC personnel to stay away from the volatile areas, warning that they could be targeted as soft victims by marauding bandits, SaharaReporters could say. One of the sources disclosed that Lade town in Patigi local government area largely deserted due to reported attacks by criminal groups. The INEC staff are scared. They don't even want to risk their lives by being kidnapped by working there. But this one still they continue. Prince Francis Chilakasa.
What do you really want me to say?
What should I want you to say, sir?
We're in a country where we're in a country where there seems to be complete breakdown of law and order. In a country where some people are treated as princes and princesses, while others are treated as foreigners and beggarly. I do not understand why we have a country where we seem to pander to the desires of the so-called Fulani headsmen. I mean, I don't understand. It's not just now. I mean, you saw, was it earlier this year, when some of them were turned back in Lagos and other western and southwestern states. So it's like you just have people who believe that they have rights over other people. They have rights over the lands of people. They have rights over the kind of crazy things they want to do. And it's very worrisome, honestly speaking. It is worrisome. The government needs to wake up. The government needs to be honest. The government needs to be sincere with our dealings with the people. And with this, it goes to show you that there is a lot, being planned for 2027. There's a lot, because obviously you can imagine if you have about 5,000 or 10,000 of these people registering only in Kwara, and so you can understand the effect that will have on our electoral process. At the same time, it shows you how terrible things have become. A country where we do not know how many we are, we do have not done census for how many years now, and nobody seems to be bothered about it. So much money was expended during the late Muhammad Buhari's tenure, in trying to organize a census. And since this government came to power, they've not had the balls to probe or to question those who were supposed to have carried out the census. Our borders are too porous to a fault. So it's a very big challenge we have in our hands, and it's also a big challenge for the new INEC chairman. I don't know how he's going to, because this falls directly under his purview, but I don't know how he's going to handle it. But at the same time, It's the responsibility of the immigration officers who mostly stand on the border point to be able to identify these people and do a form of check on them. So if that is not done, then we'll hold the Nigerian Immigration Service responsible for all this, whatever it is that is playing out. It's really, really sad. It shows that we are not holding a grip on our insecurity issues, and it tells a lot on Nigeria right now.
So Prince Francis, sir, the one of the worries a lot of people will have is why mainstream media need to cover these things. Why it they like say all this kind of thing will happen, but mainstream media could just be silent about them. They need to cover them. So if we didn't have options like this, and like people like SaharaReporters, People's Gazette, YouTube like this, how people could use get this information, how people could use know these things, because it's not like this media, other media organizations know they hear about these things, but why is it difficult to report? Is there some sort of I don't want to say complicity, but let me hear you, sir.
Your mainstream media are more interested in having a weekly organized a media chat for them to attend. And you and I, between you and I, being in the industry, you know that such media chats are not done for free. It's not done for free. And also, I think it's a deliberate act by government to try to, not to give out information. Because if you look at it, who controls the media today in Nigeria? Most of the media houses are controlled by the Southwesterners. You already know your president have his own media outfit, which you would have expected would be in the forefront of carrying such news, but they will not. So long as it is a news that they are not going to be brown envelopes exchanging hands, they obviously will not carry it. And honestly, it's a dent on the fortune of the estate. It's a dent on the media. It's a dent on the media practitioners, especially those within the mainstream media. They need to do more. But unfortunately, what do you see them doing? They don't do anything. Tomorrow morning, you'll see the newspapers will carry this as headline. But, other media outlets, other, online media outlets have carried it already. Breaking news. So tomorrow, just because it has been carried by, online media, you'll see that the mainstream media will not carry it as the headline. You keep asking, what is really going on? So most times what you see, that the mainstream media puts out there are things they even copy from the online media platforms. So it appears that it looks as if the mainstream media staffs don't go out anymore. They don't embark on investigative journalism. They just sit in the office waiting for one politician to call them for an interview and all of that. So, I mean, it's a bad one. It's a bad situation we're faced with in Nigeria right now.
All right, sir. Make we move to other issues now. We all woke up to the news of the president. I mean, we saw the news today of the president's reshuffling and service chiefs and sacking the ones who be say is sack commot. Even though some people don't really worried about the need for the sack. So President Bola Tinubu sacked the country service chiefs a week after that report about alleged coup, and the secret detention of 16 senior military officers by Defense Intelligence Agency. Remember that just exactly a week after this one happened. Though the presidency, they described the move as part of efforts to strengthen Nigeria's national security architecture. Journalists they observe and people they observe, and even the people who report that exclusive on the coup will be SaharaReporters. They also they talk, say they observe, say the changes come after weeks of tension, suspicion, and internal investigations that pointed to possible disloyalty among key senior officers. In an official statement signed by Sunday Diary, special advisor to the president on media and public communication, Tinubu had announced that General Olufemi Oloyede, Yoruba man, had been, forgive me if I mentioned that, please. I'm not being tribalistic because that's another problem with the recent service chiefs. Everybody they talks, okay, why is it the service chiefs, they largely dominated by the Southwesterners, and that's why I mentioned that, right? Oluye, the Southwest, had been appointed a new chief of defense staff, replacing General Christopher Musa, who is from, I think, Kaduna State. Now, other appointments include Major General W. Shaibu as chief of army staff, Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke as Chief of uh, Air Staff, and Rear Admiral I. Abbas as Chief of Naval Staff. The statement noted that Major General E. Yeah, so now, Odiendeye would retain his post as Chief of Defense Intelligence, a development that many observers see as significant, given that the DIA is currently at the center of investigations into the alleged coup plot. Now, President, Commander in Chief of the Armed Forces expresses, they went ahead to say, the President has sacked all service chiefs and appointed new ones, akin to this said. But in all of this, a lot of people they talk say, waiting be the sinister plan. First of all, why it they hard or why the presidency never still come clean on the alleged coup plots? Because till
Okay,
now, sir,
I'll say this to you, Precious. Every time there is a breaking news and this government comes out too quick to debunk it, just sit back, relax, get your popcorn, and maybe a bottle of soda. In a couple of hours, you will find out the truth. We've seen news that have broken up, and the government has come out to say, "Oh, it's not true; it's a lie." But at the end of the day, like people would say, behind every rumor, there's an element of truth. And I think that yes, the coup scare, there's an element of truth which the government has denied. But with what has played out right now, it is obvious that the government is really, really worried. However, the chief of army staff, is it what's that his name?
Loyede.
It's not new in the scene. If you remember, it's not new. When Lagbaja passed on, he was there for some weeks. So I think also that
this was in acting capacity before he was confirmed.
Good, and I think also that the president is looking at driving home because if you look at it, the structure today, the security architecture of Nigeria has all shifted to the southwest. And I'll give it to you. You look at the chief of army staff, isn't it?
Yes. Chief of defense staff, chief of army staff, yes.
Yeah. You look at the Nigerian police. You look at the immigration. You look at the Ministry of Finance. Now, let me tell you something that is very worrisome. A lot of people are not looking at it from that direction. But it's something I've been, reflecting over since this appointment was announced. It points to the fact that the elections are coming up in 2027. Precious, the man responsible for conducting the election is, whether we like it or not, it may be from Kwara, but he's also a Yoruba man. Are you following what I'm trying to say? You move forward. The man who will release funds for the elections is a Yoruba man. The man who provides security for the elections is a Yoruba man. So you can see where I'm coming from. And this is not good for this country. Because now you find out that those who are responsible for the conduct of free and fair election are just from one particular region. So I'm sure a lot of people may not look at it from that way, but that's the way I look at it. I'm looking at it as a broader Nigerian. So it is worrisome.
But does it matter? There are still other people who are, from other parts of the country. That's what Meaning was saying.
No, you see, whether you like, put a deputy director. It's like having a vice president. In Nigeria, a vice president is a spare tire. How often do you use the spare tire of your car? That's the question people are failing to ask. How often? You have a vice president. How often have you seen him in the limelight? It's The president is sending him to go to United Nations. He's sending him to go to Zambia. He's sending him to go to Togo. He's sending him to go to one book launch. So you just find out that, whoever you put that is seconding the INEC chairman is just there for the show. It doesn't have anything to do. The IGP of police is in charge. I mean, let's take it. Let me not bust your bubble. The organization that will be responsible for conveying your electoral materials, Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers, today has MC Olomo in charge. So, what are we talking about? We all need to begin to think out of the box. We all need to begin to think. You see, Nigeria, we have defined democracy just as it is defined, but in practice, we're not practicing democracy. And that is a sad reality. We seem to be tilting on a daily basis towards oligarchy. Because the people have no say in this government, in the transition. The people have no say. The vote of the people do not count to a large extent. We have seen it happen. We saw people being harassed, being beaten up in the last 2023 election. Who has been prosecuted? Who got arrested? So we're more like a country sitting on a time bomb, waiting to explode. And that is why you can see, like your first news item, you can see people being moved from one location to another to go and register. And nobody's asking questions. Nobody is asking questions. How did we get to this level of, insanity in our country, where anything goes, where nobody cares, where the ruling class has become so powerful that they have, neglected the people who ordinarily power should reside with? So when government, or when those in government take away the power from the people, the only thing you have at your doorstep is dictatorship. You can't question your governors. You saw the lawyer that tried to question Hope Uzodinma. He's still in detention up till now. You can't question a minister. You saw what transpired between Rufai Hussaini and Dave Mai. You can't question a local government chairman. You can't even question a director in a government establishment.
Oh, all right, sir.
So taking power from the people, and power now resides with the leaders.
All right, so let's look at the new appointments we said the president made, because apart from the fact saying Christopher Musa away from Kaduna State, we appoint new people, then reshuffle Oleyede way, from Southwest. But looking at the list, I think General W. Shaibu, now from, I think he's from Kogi State, right? So people say, well, is the balance I'm small, or you still balance the conversation. And then we have the Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke, we take over from another Enugu person, we from Enugu State, although he was born in Benue State. So he's from Enugu State. And then we have Rear Admiral I. Abbas, who is from Kano State. So people just say, well, the president perhaps more like balanced his appointment this period as against what a lot of people don't shout, just like they talk now about nepotism.
Well, if you look at it, why people are shouting about nepotism is the fact that suddenly the chief of army staff has come back to Yoruba. You can't throw that away. You have
Chief of Defense Staff. Chief of Army Staff was always Yoruba.
Okay, Chief of Defense Staff. Yes.
Yes.
So you have Chief of Defense Staff that is now Yoruba man.
But sir, apart from that, people they even talk say because say the chief of defense staff Christopher Musa had said things in the past that looks like he was a bit. I don't want to say he was indicting on the state because there were interviews where he don't do where he own up to the fact say waiting they go on get as it take be. First of all, he don't been question the role of civil society organizations and NGOs for waiting they go on for the security for Nigeria. So do you think that it may be that he had at some point pinched the powers way they on ground, we make them perhaps
Well, I think for those who know him very well, he's one man who uh, he stands by his words. He's one man who he does not need to be pushed around. He doesn't want anybody to push him around because he's a professional. That's the difference. There's a difference between being a professional and knowing what you're doing and being a professional by practice. Like we have PhD by practice. He's not that. He's a professional, a core military officer, a gentleman. So yes, obviously he has stepped on some toes. You can't take that away. He has stepped on some toes.
So you know why I raised this conversation now?
Let me tell you,
Okay,
this whole thing about this change now, considering you also notice that he has gone through some humiliation when the Canadian government refused to grant him visa. So you notice that you will ask the question you ask: how has the fight against insurgents been like? I don't think that is every military officer that supports this whole idea of rehabilitation, reintegration. No, quite a number of them don't support it because it's not working. So I think that personally, my personal view, I think he has fallen out of favor with Mr. President. That's just it.
So yes. let me go back to this. You talk about rehabilitation of Boko Haram people. I won't go back to this other conversation. As we hear say several Nigerian soldiers don't express anger and fear over what they describe as a dangerous policy by the Nigerian army, that is pushing them or compelling troops to work alongside repentant Boko Haram fighters in parts of Yobe and other states in the Northwest. Now, according to multiple military sources, we talk to SaharaReporters, the soldiers said their commanders were forcing them to patrol, share intelligence, and even live in the same camps with former Boko Haram members who surrendered to the government despite deep distrust and repeated cases of betrayal. Repeated cases of betrayal. One of them said, in our camp, we have repentant Boko Haram members. Those ones that surrendered, they are working with us. We go on patrol together so that they can give us information about Boko Haram fighters still hiding in the bush. That's what they're supposed to do. And the source also explained that the arrangement, which was introduced as part of the Nigerian military's counterinsurgency strategy, has left many soldiers uncomfortable and suspicious of what's going on. They are normal vigilantes, and most of them they talk say there are normal vigilantes and they are repentant Boko Haram. The soldier continued. Some of these people help us navigate the bush because they know the terrain better than us, but we don't trust them. Many of them have run back to their bush to rejoin Boko Haram after gathering enough information from us. That's why we don't believe that they're truly repentant. Then what is the need of giving them the so-called amnesty? Another source also disclosed that while not all army camps have repentant fighters, those that do not give, those that are not giving separate accommodation within military base are supported by both the army and state government. They give them motorbikes and even allow them to wear army uniforms. That's what a soldier complained. If they run away, they can use the uniform to commit crimes. That's why you see some of them wearing our uniforms. That's what the man talk. The soldiers allege that both Yobe state government and the Nigerian army are providing the ex-fighters with food and stipends. It was learned that such benefits have caused resentment among regular troops who risk their lives daily. Now, the state's government pays them salaries, and the army also funds them and whatever they eat in the camp. See, Prince Francis Chilaka, it's Premium Times earlier reported how no fewer than 13 repentant Boko Haram members escaped with sophisticated weapons and motorcycles provided to them by the Borno state government in 2024. This na part of the non-kinetic approach where our government they always talk say, oh, we must adopt kinetic and non-kinetic. What is the essence if they go back? Are we not just deliberately endangering the lives of our soldiers? I beg, no vex. Sir.
I've always maintained, and I'll keep maintaining, that I do not believe and I do not support anybody telling me you are rehabilitating Boko Haram terrorists or whatever you call them. I will never be a party to that. Because if you want to do that, I would also say that there are quite a number of young youths who today are tagged as terrorists, and they're tagged as terrorists because they say they belong to COUP and ESN. Who is giving them that kind of treatment? If you believe that they are repentant and all of that, then Nnamdi Kanu should not be on trial. So for me, I think that the government is not being sincere. I've always said it, that the government is not being sincere, the government is not being honest. I would rather, today, as it is in Nigeria, support the stand of El-Rufai. El-Rufai says, take them out. And I think there's a solution. I mean, you've seen video clips of them attending weddings of one of theirs. You see them coming out in their thousands to hold negotiations with government officials. Who gets arrested? Precious. Do you think that such a gathering will be allowed in the Southeast? It will not. And we fail to ask this question. If you say that they were forced into becoming Boko Haram or bandits or whatever you call it, were they also forced to use the trigger? Were they forced to use machete? But, I mean, so we must be very honest with ourselves. Except, like it has been said severally, that the political class are behind it. Some of the political class are behind it. And I'm shocked up to today that my reverend brother, Padre Hyacinth, up to today has not released names of those he claims are sponsoring banditry and terrorism in Benue State. How many months down the line? I'm also shocked that this same government have not been able to publish the names of sponsors that was handed over to the late president. Because this president, Bola Tinubu, like he said, that he was going to continue from where President Muhammad Buhari stopped. We would have expected that continuity would lead to exposing those behind it. I'm also sure that you know that the Interpol came to Nigeria and I think they arrested about 13 terrorists. And it was a joint operation. This operation has gone to, I think they did it in Tanzania, whether Ghana or so. But in Nigeria, they arrested about 13 or 16 terrorists. Now, nobody's publishing their names. Nobody's putting their face out there. But if in quotes, if there were Igbos, their pictures would be all over the place. So we need to know who are the people sponsoring this terrorist act in Nigeria. And that is the beginning of solving the problem. If you keep hiding their identity, if you keep hiding their names, then you're not ready to solve the problem. But it is so sad and shameful that, the Nigerian army will ask, its soldiers to work side by side with so-called repentant terrorists or Boko Haram, whatever you want to call them.
All right, sir. Make we enter another conversation. I will still come back to this issue of whether or not there was a coup plot. We're coming to it, but let's just get into other political conversations now. Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous, Nnamdi Kanu don't talk say his witnesses will be coming from all parts of the world, including Ethiopia, Kenya, and United States. Now, Kanu, who adopted to defend himself in the ongoing alleged terrorism trial preferred against him by the federal government, told Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court this today, Friday. Now, the news agency of Nigeria reports that Kanu, in a motion filed on October 21, listed the names of prominent Nigerians and foreigners he intended to call for witnesses and to defend him. And I go tell you within Wiki talk concerning that. Now, Kanu, in the application he personally signed, informed the court of his plan to call a total of 23 witnesses and all that. But now in the talks, in most of it, these things, witnesses, they come from different part of the country, so they need to give them small time, make it say they come. And then, as it gets to do with in defense, um, the Global Defense Consortium of the detained leader of indigenous of Nnamdi Kanu has accused the federal courts in Abuja of continued bias and denial of fair hearing, following what it described as fresh irregularities during Friday's, that's today's proceedings, presided over by Justice James Omotosho. In a statement released today, Friday, Barrister Onyekachi Ifedi, after the sitting, the defense consortium said the event of the day once again exposed the structural injustice and procedural violations that marred the ongoing trial. According to the statement, Kano informed the court that his legal team had been disengaged only a day earlier, and that was Thursday, being a non-visitation day at the DSS facility, where he is, currently in detention, made it impossible for him to receive his legal files. So his special counsel and his brother, who usually delivers such materials, were both in detention because now today they released them by bail, 500,000. And they used to release them. Now, the defense maintained that Kanu's request for time to study his file was a constitutional demand under Section 36, subsection 6B of the 1999 Constitution. So when say one, because in talk say, now Thursday night talk say, Naim would defend himself. And that Thursday no be visiting day for DSS. Una suppose give am time, make in wetin they call am, cancel them, pass over the file to am, make him study the file, then know wetin him go talk. But una no gree give am time, una dey talk say make him go ahead, go continue to defend himself. How he wan use defend wetin e be say he never go through? That now the case wey be say they dey make. Now they said Justice James reportedly granted, Kano sought an extension to his legal and medical consultation days rather, from the 3 to 5 per week, but they not give them. Justice James Otomotosho later granted this request, but claimed the defendant had failed to utilize earlier opportunities for consultations, provided by the court. Now, the defense, however, faulted the claim, arguing that it was unreasonable to compel a defendant in a capital offense trial to begin his defense after only 3 days of consultation. So, makes sense. 3 days alone no go reach him. They described the move as perverse and contrary to the principle laid down in Abacha versus State 2002. Then talk a lot of things. Basically, they talk say the federal government they biased towards Nnamdi Kanu the way they handle the case, and the judge itself also they biased. Make I take your opinion.
Well, let me start by saying that the decision of Nnamdi Kanu to sack his entire legal team, I think it's the best thing he has done for himself.
Mm.
Yes, it's the best thing he has done for himself because we've seen how the lawyers have been going back and forth, and also, he's a terrorist. He's been charged for treason, and treason comes with a capital punishment. So the man has a right to decide how best to defend himself, and I believe that this decision is the best. Unfortunately, he's dealing with a system that seemed to have prepared a judgment before the case started. And I'll say that it took the federal government, the prosecutors, so to say, it took them about 2 years or more to lay out their case. And then you're expecting the man whose life is on the hang, is on the balance, to use 6 days. You're expecting him to use 6 days to be able to defend himself. I mean, that is a mockery of the system. The truth of the matter is that in stacking his legal team, Kanu has come out publicly to say that he has lost faith in the Nigerian judiciary. And until people see that, no matter what people think of Kanu, no matter what people say about him, he is still innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of law. Don't forget that an appeal court set him free, and that judgment was never allowed to stay. That judgment was never executed. So if you're looking at issue of fair hearing with justice as the backbone, the judgment of the appeal court should actually be allowed to be executed. That's on one side. Two, I would also expect that Justice Omotosho should be able to understand that you do not expect somebody to defend himself in 6 days. Don't also forget that he has ruled out, I think, about 23 or 24 witnesses. It is now the duty of the court, because don't forget, Kanu cannot go out. He's under detention in the DSS cell. So it is expected that the court will be the one to summon these people he has mentioned. So the court must also make sure that they come. It's very, very important. So if the names he has listed do not come to court, so what do you want him to do? You can't hold him liable. You can't hold him responsible. Because for him, he doesn't have the means and the wherewithal to be able to reach out to these people. So the court must take up that responsibility. So if a man is calling 24 or 30, which is his right to do now, it is his right. And the court must respect that right. So since it is his right, and he has given out the names of those he's invited, he wants to call up as witnesses, well, let's see how the court will do that in 6 days.
Okay, so very quickly, maybe we just play about a drama we happened today. The Nigerian police reacted, clarified reports surrounding the alleged rearrest of Omoyele Sowore. Earlier reports have suggested that Sowore, who was arrested for organizing the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest but granted bail today, Friday, was rearrested within the courtroom shortly after his release. However, the first public relations officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, dismissed the claims as false, explaining that if the activist had indeed been rearrested, he would not have been taken directly to prison. Okay, so they said. So they said he was not rearrested. However, a lot of drama play out. But before we go to that drama, we play out with Omoyele Sowore arrest. Make I quickly let you in on waiting. He did a question where he be off you if you asked today for Inside Channels Television when they talk about the coup plots. And I'd like you to listen to it and perhaps help answer those questions. Take a listen.
How much time I have, but let me, in rounding up, make this point. Recently, the media has been awash, right, by this quite sad news, unfortunate news, that some soldiers have been arrested for allegedly planning to stage a coup. I believe you have seen those reports. The question is, we don't want a coup in Nigeria. The point is that we don't want any coup in Nigeria. I'm totally against it. But can you say today that the Tinubu regime, the Tinubu government, has not waged a coup against the constitution of our country? That can you tell me this morning that there is no coup against the democracy in this country? Because the moment you begin to say people cannot protest in the villa, people cannot protest in the Eagle Square, people cannot protest Sheku Shagari Way, do you want Nigerians in Abuja to go to Sambisa Forest to protest? Do you want people to go to the forest to protest?
All right.
This is a clear indication that this government has no respect for the rule of law. Look at the No Kings protest in US. Millions of Americans took over a lot of places in the US. Go to the White House today, you can find Americans protesting. Go to number 10 in London, you can find people in UK protesting in front of the Prime Minister's residence. What is sacred about the villa that Nigerians cannot protest? What is sacred about the National Assembly? If I cannot go to the National Assembly to protest, where am I supposed to protest? This Tinubu presidency, here is a president who took part in protest. Here are people in power, the APC, that came to power based on protest. Today, they are criminalizing protests, they are stigmatizing those who are holding placards, while the same government is romancing bandits that is using AK-47 to kill Nigerians, giving amnesty to criminals while attacking people that are holding a placard. This is not how to build a democracy. You cannot say you want a democracy, you don't want a coup, and at the same time, you are attacking the legitimate right of Nigerians to protest. Let the government be serious. Let us stop this weaponization of the legal system, trivialization of the rule of law, making a mockery of the judicial system. Enough is enough. Nigerians must be respected. The rest of Nigerians to respect themselves is sacrosanct. And we are not going to relinquish on those rights.
Indeed, Mr. Effiong, critical issues that you have raised that should form the guardrails.
The President Tinubu administration never plot coup against Nigerians. Now, Semeka ask you, sir. You know you're the wise prince, sir. This kind of going talk, sir. Say the President administration, whether he never plot coup against Nigerians.
But it's, you don't need to go to trade fair or to Igbo market to find out the answer to that question. Everybody knows that yes, APC, I won't say Bola Tinubu, but APC has plotted a coup against Nigerians. And the first coup they plotted against Nigerians, like I remind Nigerians so that they know, the very first coup that was planted against Nigerians was when children were arrested for protesting against home governance and hunger, and you charge them for treason. Now the Babala coup be that, if you don't know, make you know. And that coup set the precedent of what is happening today. So it is not like, oh, the government is not aware, or the government doesn't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And, you know, everybody knows that APC in 2015 that brought in the late Muhammadu Buhari came to power under pretext of protest. It is so painful, it is so sad that your current president was the arrowhead of those protests. You're not going to deny him. Going further, all the GOs, all the civil societies that gathered, where are they today? It appears that they have all been settled. So everybody has fallen in line. But the truth of the matter is that the Nigerian people deserve more than they are getting from this government. And so when I sit back, I ask myself, 2027 is around the corner. What is President Bola Tinubu going to use for his campaigns? Is he going to start telling us about GDP? Is he going to start telling us about the figures being reeled out by the National Bureau of Statistics that is not in reality what is happening in Nigeria? Is he going to be telling us how you have 300 or something billion cash transfer to imaginary recipients? So we are waiting. Is he going to tell us how Nigerians are now paying through their sweat and everything to have electricity? After all, he said if he doesn't give you light in 6 months, when I come back for the election, don't vote for me.
All right, sir. So make I quickly go back to the story we get to do with Omoyele Sowore. Now, here's what some of the lawyers then we get to do with Nnamdi Kanu get to talk when they would express the drama we play out earlier today with Sowore.
The court has granted
this
bail.
video is
Yes. The next thing, they brought the document and we asked, we want to see the content of this document. They insisted that no, we will not see it. Let's know the place that the court has ordered that the defendant be taken to. They refused to show it to us. We insisted that that document is a public document, that we had the right to see it. Even Sowore himself insisted that he needed to see it, and they refused. The next thing, they were warning all of us, threatening us, wanting to beat us up because we want to fight for our rights as a country.
Any of this regards to these lawyers that were initially this is the time judicially need to prove to the world that Nigeria is not a banana republic. We are talking about court premises. Somebody
beating people.
Listen, I'm telling you that these people, this is an affront to judiciary. And when we are talking about judiciary, we are talking about the bench and the bar. We are not calling MBA. Look at a colleague that came to do his professional work.
Yes, he's stained with blood.
You stain the color with blood. We are talking about in court premises. We are a judge. You came to this court that a purported court order was disobeyed. That now you, in the presence of the court, while the court is still sitting, the court that issued the bail order, it was still sitting. You in the presence of the court, you disrupt the entire proceedings of the court. You cause commotion in the court. You beat people up. You get people and somebody arrested. We are talking about the one you did at Federal High Court yesterday. Please, for goodness sake, we are saying this. We are saying this and we will continue to say it. Nobody is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. We have seen series of presidents in this country. We have seen series of Inspector General of Police in this country. We have seen series of
what happened here is not any legal process.
In the premise of the court.
Legal process. Can you introduce yourself? Yes, I'm Stoppers Emoku. I was with Orega yesterday when he was arrested and he was taken to this people's office and we were together out with the day until he was detained. What happened here today? Let me just tell you what happened here today. The judiciary today, I think they were disappointed at the order of the court. They didn't inspect the court.
Okay, all right. Let me just stop it here. And, that the judiciary were disappointed by the order of the court.
Which pressures? Hold on. Which judiciary? The same judiciary that pronounced non-winners of election as winners. The same judiciary that has been bought over by the political class. The same judiciary that the wicked is building houses for the judges. Which judiciary? Where would they start from? Where would they start from to redeem their image? They see, they're not small thing, they never begin crying. The judiciary never begin crying, then go cry. Because they are part of the problem of this country. They are part of the problem. When they are supposed to give judgment in favor of the people, what do? They prefer to give judgment to the highest bidder. So whatever happens to the judiciary, they should accept it the way it is. They should accept it. There is no need crying over spilled milk. The Nigerian judiciary need to purge themselves. They need to purge themselves and be upright. So long as people can buy judgment, then I don't know where there's what talking about the Nigerian Bar Association, talking about the bench. Which bench? That's when the leg don't break. Yes, no.
The bench don't scatter.
The legs don't scatter. It's only in Nigeria that the justice system, you know, the woman, when you see where they carry scale and everything, she be them blindfolded.
That is Lady Justice.
Yes, do you know why she's blindfolded? So that there's no preferential treatment. There's no favoritism. But like the one where the judges right there for Nigeria, they're open. They're quite open. Then they see where pass you and I. And that problem is. So the judiciary need to go and purge themselves. They need to sit down and tell themselves the truth. You can't keep imposing bad leaders, wrong leaders upon the people and you expect to go home and sleep peacefully. Na lie. The key will say mama no go sleep, himself no go see sleep. Now all of us there for this country, that breakfast, none of us go to chop up. Let me continue.
All right, sir. So still speaking about the Nnamdi Kanu case very quickly. So earlier today, you know, the Minister of the FCT hold a media briefing and they ask him a question we get to do with Nnamdi Kanu. And I think he had an answer. Seem be one of the
Honourable Minister, if I may deviate a bit from politics, just quickly, a case currently ongoing, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case in court. There was a protest on Monday, but he was set to open his defense yesterday. And you were listed as one of his witnesses.
Compelling witness.
Alongside a number of other notable Nigerians. So former Attorney General, some governors, former governors as well, and another minister, Dave Umahi, was listed as well. I do not know if you're aware of this and why it is that you have been listed as one of the witnesses in this case.
And if you see Nnamdi Kanu, you ask him, why did he list me? I did not go to say I want to be a witness. You are the one saying that. So if you see him, ask him, why did you list Wiki as one of your witnesses?
Have you not seen it?
I'm coming. I don't list. See, you don't become a witness by reading newspaper. Nobody has served me any process. Nobody has subpoenaed me. So because I saw Wiki's listed, therefore, I'm going to run helter skelter. No, you don't do that. If I am served, if I'm subpoenaed to come and give witness or to give evidence, I must obey the court. I must appear. But not on pages of newspapers. Nobody does that.
Excellency.
And so as to why I should be listed, he who chooses me there, you should ask him the question. But if I am invited, if I'm supposed to come, go home and sleep. I will be there.
Okay, sir. You don't hear within your FCT minister talk, sir.
No, the interesting thing is that it is not within the powers of Nnamdi Kanu right now to serve him court subpoena. It's not him because he's incarcerated. So, like I said earlier, it is the responsibility of the court to ensure that those he has listed as witnesses appear in court. So leave Wike has already answered. He's saying go appear. So let us watch and see. The drama is unfolding.
Just quickly, a case currently ongoing.
The drama is unfolding. But I'll tell you the truth. The people he listed, like somebody said today, I would have loved if he included Mr. President in the list of his witnesses. You see, people are asking questions. People are saying, no, the Kanu is stupid and all of that. But you forget that one of those he listed as witness is Sanwo-Olu. And you remember that Sanwo-Olu set up an inquiry into NSAS. And you remember that he was invited. And there are things he said that actually, gave credence to the shooting and everything that happened with the NSAS. So we're going to hear the truth. After all, I think the director of DSS is also one of the witnesses. Don't forget that the current director of NDSS and Danjuma, T.Y. Danjuma B.
Yes.
They have come out openly.
No. Okay, yeah, T.Y. Danjuma, yes.
Yes. They have come out openly to say Nigerians should, protect themselves. So if they have said, protect yourselves by all means, and nobody arrests them, why would you arrest Nnamdi Kanu asking the Southeasterners or the Nigerians to protect themselves? See, this court case, if the government is sincere and ready, the government should find a political solution. It should find a political solution. Because by the time these witnesses appear, you cannot imagine the question that they will be asked. And you know that when you're on the dock, whatever question you ask, you must answer.
All right.
Nigeria is not yet a country where you plead the Fifth Amendment.
You plead the Fifth. No pleading the Fifth.
Okay.
You must answer. All right, sir. Okay, maybe we quickly just touch on a few political conversations, make our open phone lines. Well, we don't react to Governor Doyedire of Bayelsa State responding. Bottom line, say they're very embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing. All the people who insult them saying they do this, say very embarrassing. But let's get to Concourse. So as in talk say, the NNPP, they open to discussing and negotiating on aligning with Tinubu, Jonathan Obi, anybody with BC come their table. He talked this one with BBC Hausa. He said we're ready for anyone, whether it is the APC, PDP, ADC, Jonathan or Peter Obi, we did. If we are satisfied with their competence and integrity, we will join forces to achieve success. But whoever we align with must be committed to improving the lives of Nigerians. If they fail to meet our expectations, we will not continue with them again. Now, what's in the talk there, amongst other things where you talk. This one, what's make Nigerians a reactor, and because of he was one of those who called, and he called Peter B. Andrews liver salt in the past. Now, they talk about the need to also align with anybody else, including a Peter B. So I thought to pick your mind on that, sir.
Well, I think from what I've read and from what I've heard, Kwakwanso has no right to speak for NNPP. And I can tell you that authoritatively. The party has come out to say, you cannot speak for us. You can speak for yourself as Kwakwanso. But you see, like I said, when Nigerian politician tells you good morning, Precious, you need to go outside and be sure that it is morning. Kwakwanso has been back and forth. If Kwakwanso wants to join APC, all this drama he's making, he doesn't need it. He should just wake up one morning and brace it and say, today I want to declare for APC. So don't use people as an excuse for your defection. And that's the truth. So Kwakwanso must also realize that his stronghold is only in Kano. Side. Outside Kano, what else? So these are questions he should be asking himself. I can tell you this, take it to the bank. You put a Kwakwanso on the ballot paper and you put a P2B. P2B will floor him mercilessly. So if Kwakwanso believes that he's a true Democrat, he's a man who wants to cater for the need of Nigerians, then he should go and join force with P2B.
All right, sir. Okay, so moving on to other conversations. P2B himself too don't decry the centralization of ports for inside Lagos State. To say if Nigeria will remain economically imbalanced if Tinubu keeps pouring port funds into Lagos alone. Now we've seen a talk. So when they talk about this decentralization, and paying attention to the other ports and we'll get for the country. Would you like to speak to it?
Yes, I think this is coming on the background of the $1 billion that the federal government released for the modernization of ports in Lagos. It's a disgrace. It's a shamble. For me, I think that the government is focusing in one direction. They're not looking at opening up other ports. It's like the southeast to start with, where most of the imports you have, I can tell you, most of the imports you have come from southeasterners. They are majorly the importers. So I don't know why the government is finding it difficult to open up ports in the southeast to allow people to move their goods. So I think that I totally agree with you, Tony. The government must think as if there's no box. The government must work in such a way that you open up other areas so that the country can develop. But when you keep concentrating on one, it's like what your governors do. All the governors, apart from the governor of Abia State that is working openly, all the governors, what are they doing? They concentrate on the state capital. Once they come, they want to redesign the road of the state capital. They want to remove this. They want to put this in the state capital. In the rural areas, what are they doing? How are they developing the road? How are they opening channels? How are they opening roads? So these are what we're talking about. The federal government needs to change its approach, especially with the ports. It should change its approach. And that approach they need to change is, find a way to also give them $1 billion to the southeast for them to modernize their ports.
All right, so all right, so other issues to talk about. Okay, well, let's leave that conversation. So this case of FATF, so the Financial Action Task Force don't officially remove Nigeria from its list of jurisdictions under increasing monitoring, also known as the grey list. For almost 2 years, Nigeria they on that list. Now they don't come out also the list. The decision was taken at the FATF October 2025 plenary in Paris, France, following the country's successful implementation of 19-point action plan aimed at strengthening its anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism. Not be say they don't already do the thing, but they don't list out 19-point plan we go use to counter money laundering and financing of terrorism. So they look the list up. So okay, on a do well. Now Nigeria was placed on the grey list in February 2023 after the FATF rather identified strategic deficiencies in its systems. So this is not good news for Nigeria. For those who talk say good news when they happen for Nigeria, I think this is an impressive news. For someone like me, I feel particularly excited about this because foreign remittances from companies.
You know, Precious, in Nigeria, when something favors you, whatever favors you becomes good news. It doesn't matter what favors other people.
It's not just about me alone. Not Prince Chilaka.
That is where we have found ourselves. That is the kind of country. No, that's the kind of country we live in. We live in a country where we are happy when something favors us.
Because me.
For me, let me finish, Precious. For me, it's a good news. Okay. But the question is that what steps is government taking in curbing the flight of our collective wealth? What steps is government taking to checkmate those who are in government that are embezzling the people's money and taking them abroad? It's one thing to agree on paper certain things or to make certain proposals so that you clap your hands for them, but they need to go the extra mile. And that extra mile is to ensure that there's transparency, there's accountability in the workings of government. So for you don't be happy now because you're a beneficiary, but let us hope.
A beneficiary, government not dash me money, na money where I work for.
I'm saying from January your tax not go there here. The tax they go the tax.
Remind me, sorry, I don't forget.
Okay.
Oh yeah, make a tell you the overall good news. The baba of all the good news. Now say House of Rep don't they make a move to limit president control over EFCC chairman. They don't try to amend them. Make a stop on for the headline, make a not talk on further. This is a very good news. So you should be happy that they are working.
Which work? Which work are they working?
Is this not work, sir?
No. Which work? So if they reduce the power, who they want to give the power to?
So are you saying that it's not enough?
We're not saying they should. We are not saying they should reduce the power. The question is who are they giving the power to? Is it the same National Assembly that is being controlled by Mr. President? What bill has been sent to the National Assembly with a question? The only thing you hear is the A's have it, the I's have it, the G's have it. Person where they control. Suddenly why they put for the person they control them. So now people will put for their eyes. They just want to make noise. They want settlement. They want Mr. President to call them and ask them, what is your problem? And you guys, I can settle. That's what they want. So if you're saying you're going to reduce the power of the president over EFCC, who are you going to give that power to? So why don't they just promulgate a law making EFCC purely independent? Before you even make EFCC independent, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is it independent?
But that's what they're moving at now, to ensure that EFCC is independent now.
They're not asking the question. The one that they already, the Christian name, the baptismal name is independent. INEC, is it independent? You can't resolve that one first. You hear that Nigerians were saying, oh, National Assembly, you must make a law that forbids Mr. President from appointing INEC chairman. Did they do it? They didn't do it. Because they all know they're going to be beneficiaries of the illegality that will happen in INEC if it happens. And you know, say some of them know say 2027 they're not gonna come back. So they won't make law when go protect them. I beg, leave this National Assembly people. Look for another thing, I beg.
All right, second base, I beg Nigerians, it's time to get your thoughts and reactions on the conversation. So that Prince Francis Chilaka, your suya don't land Nigeria, I say make I tell you.
If you touch that suya, I cut, I go, man, they will carry you as they carry show there.
I'm not guessing. I'm not feeling well. Please don't drag me. I beg. All right. The phone lines are open, Nigerians. Let's have you jumping in the conversation. 0817-0294077. That is the number to call. That is 0817-0294077. Or you follow the link, make your land inside the studio direct, make your follow us talk. Good evening and welcome. It's always still white than Juma. That's what the cold, don't they reach?
It's cold, yeah, it's cold. It's cold.
Oh,
it does begin.
Sorry.
Snow never begin fall, but the thing don't enter body. They enter body.
Hey, why? Welcome.
No plan to come here at this time. The weather not very friendly.
You don't want to know the story of my life. Just go ahead, please.
greetings, precious. Greetings, Prince.
And
yes. Would they? You see that suya? Make sure say precious give you the suya. The suya na bam.
I don't know if you don't give me the suya. Now the way they take carry show, they say they go carry her.
Now correct.
So you don't.
Now correct suya.
So you don't chop your own. How do you find it? No, sincerely, because I mean it's free advert I'm making for him.
Okay.
And the products no they good, make I know so that I go sack them sharp, and no go waste. But if you they good,
there are one.
This customer service too is important to know.
Yeah, I don't send some information to you where I know if you talk in the open, but I am not very good with giving marks. I'm very conservative with marks. But if you ask me to score them, I could just manage to give them 85%.
What's your wife give them? What's your wife score? Honey,
my wife,
come and
my wife say the suya na one in town.
Hell.
And in fact, my wife don't give instructions. Say make people not touch that thing anyhow. Make they not touch them anyhow. So, but I eat them.
Now she and for she and her oga at the top.
No, nah, she and my son.
Away.
They love it. So it's good. It's good.
Thank you.
The only thing when I go talk, you say for those who in Nigeria is expensive. I sent it to you. It's expensive.
Not the Nigerian suya nah. Well, I don't know, but I don't know how those things.
No. Precious is expensive. Precious is expensive. I'm sure he's listening to me. Maybe if you send go Nigeria, you know, when you add the cost to send them down, okay, which is much more than the cost of sending it within United States, and then you factor in the exchange rate. For instance, the one when I buy now $100, and I think that's the minimum when they do. So if you times $100. Yes, if you times $100 by 1,500, that's about 150,000.
But
who won't buy suya?
There's no reason why anybody in Nigeria is even going to import.
That's what I'm saying. So instead, where you go buy suya
here now.
Instead, where you go buy suya of that amount sent to somebody in Nigeria, it's better say you send the person the money. You know, so you go buy maybe suya for 20,000, and then the other one go take and do something when you want to do.
Very importantly, I would like to know the kind in contemporaries, people will sell like that for that country. How did he take sell now within the same price? Because he had mentioned that his price is the same thing that you buy, you know, that kind of products across the US. Is it true?
The challenge that we have. If you see now be all this contradiction about foreign exchange, rate of exchange, where government go manipulate and go through us. If not the time where dollar now 1 to 1, You know, so it's just $100. I mean, just 100 naira, which is not bad. You see, so the problem where would they get? The problem is that the naira has been totally devalued to the extent where it don't make sense again. It has become like Uganda money, shit money, or Zimbabwe money.
But you never answer my question, though. This kind of African meal, you know, it's an African meal, right?
Yes.
This African delicacy for other parts of the US, there is it about the same price range, or it's cheaper than his?
I wouldn't know. I didn't do that comparison.
I
have not.
like to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's good. That's the most important thing, and it's good and it's real meat, you know. So if you're buying and well packaged, you know. So that I commend him.
Thank
you know.
Yeah, let's do politics and leave Suya alone. Leave Suya alone.
Okay. Now for the today's discussion, first of all, I want to say something about maybe just correct one or two things that Prince Chilaka said on Nnamdi Kanu's trial. First of all, you take the witnesses when in court. There are some witnesses when in court, for instance, like the governor Sanwo-Olu.
Yes.
The court cannot subpoena him because he has immunity. Unless if he decides to come by himself to court. But he cannot be subpoenaed. You know, so they can't subpoena him. You know, all the others, all the wiki and all that, the court can.
But you know, see Justice Omotosha, she been an atos in a wiki man. So I see Justice Omotosha doing that to Wiki to come and explain himself.
Well, I don't know. But the court has the powers to do that. Malami, Wike, DSS, Danjuma, and so on and so forth. The court has the power to do that because it's in search of truth. And then the other thing when I want to talk, when you talk about the judgment of the appeal court on Nnamdi Kanu's case, you know, when the lower court and the appeal court, you know, ruled in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, you know, on account of the rendition, you know, he who wants equity must come with clean hands. So the government cannot be asking for equity in the temple of justice when his hands are soiled. So it's not possible. But when the case got to the Supreme Court did not discharge the case. It didn't. It didn't discharge, acquit Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. No, it didn't. What he did was that he acknowledged
and even gave a fine. Appeal court did and gave a fine.
Yes. Now it acknowledged, Supreme Court acknowledged that the rendition was wrong, it was illegal, but it didn't obviate Nnamdi Kanu from the charges that was brought against him by the lower court. So he asked the lower court to go and try the case, those charges that were brought against him. So you have, and the Supreme Court is the apex court, you know. So his ruling don't overtake that of the appeal court. So I just thought that you know, one should make that clear. But you know, the other case, the real thing when I want to discuss now, you know, concerning, you know, the coup or phantom coup, if you like. If you look at the body language of the federal government, and if you look at the pronouncements, you know, first of all, there are two pronouncements that have been made, one by an official of the government and one by the military, you know, military spokesperson. And they said, oh, the president was was scheduled for an international conference. So that's why he didn't attend, which is strange because you can't schedule you can't prioritize a conference over an Independence Day celebration. It has never happened. And then the spokesman, you know, person for the president, you know, said that, oh, he's tired. He wanted to take the occasion to have some rest. That's why, you know, the thing was low key and there was no pomp and pageantry, you know, over the celebration of independence anniversary. And if you look at it, the president didn't go anywhere. So you see that, you know, there's something, there's a lacuna somewhere. There's, you know, somebody is not speaking the truth. Now, the excuse of the military was that, you know, those 16 people that were held, you know, and we understand that there are now more than 16 that have been held. If you look at what they said, you know, they failed the exam, you know, and on the basis of that, they are holding them. I don't know the tradition in the military. how, people fail exam and they will be held. And then why is it a brigadier, major, a brigadier general and captains only? Are they the only ones that failed the exam? So you will see that. And if you look at the language, if you look at the language of the spokesperson for the army who made that release, you will see that he did talk about disloyalty. And that language, whether in diplomatic parlance or in the military parlance, they understand what it is. You don't expect the military to come out and say, point blank that there was an attempted coup, and that's smart. That is saying that the military, that constituency, say they did disloyal to the president. So you don't expect them to say that. And there are implications, for investment and all that. It exposes, it shows the country as a country, that has some even though they know that they hear say we have problems, but it shows that there are some instability in the system, and so investors will want to hold back their funds if there are, because of uncertainties. The situation is not clear. Nobody wants to invest, and it paints your country in a very bad image. So I don't expect them to come out openly. But again, you see, this is a government where they say they are not transparent in anything that they do. So it is difficult for people to really understand when they're telling you the truth and when they lie. Because it has become part of the hallmark of this government. Lies and lies and lies and lies, and then they are misquoted or something like that. So those are some of the issues. But if you now look at what has happened now, first of all, there's a statement that the president is looking at, reforming the various training institutes for the military. And the next now, we now saw this change, of service chiefs, all of them, gone except Oluyide, who just came in to replace Lagbaja. Yes. I think the points that people have said, some people have said that all the other service chiefs have overstayed their time. They were supposed to have left by September 2024. They have stayed 5 years. They're supposed to have gone, including the IG. They're supposed to have left. So that it may not be because of the coup. Some others are saying that, listen, based on what has happened and the insecurity in the system, the president has the right to say, okay, you people are not doing well, and therefore, you guys go and they're appointing new persons. But if you look at the people that are appointed again, if you see that again is tilting towards one side. That is the truth. The main apparatus, the strategic positions, whether is in parastatals, whether is in service chiefs, whether is in ministerial appointments, you will see that it is tilted to one side or people of Yoruba extraction. So again, it doesn't paint a picture. You see quite a lot of nepotism, tilting towards nepotism, which we saw before, not only in this government, we saw it, in the previous government. And I think that these things is probably an attempt to say, I trust my own people more, or an attempt, but, showing that government is not, it's not very comfortable with the security situation in the country. They have a right to do that. They have a right to, change service chiefs, because if you look at all the things we have had, this pressure on the government about Christian genocide or no genocide. You look at all the challenges we've had from all the insurgencies, banditry, and so on and so forth. And then you look at the fact that people are hungry, perceived hunger, so which would draw people into crime, unemployment, and all those. There's so much restiveness in the system. So if you look at all that, and the likelihood of foreign intervention somehow supporting some of these crises or restiveness in the country. So I think that, yes, if you look at it from that point of view, it's right for the government. And the fact that people have accused the government that they have not been really proactive and forthcoming in dealing with issues of security in the country. So I think, in a sense, it's good for the federal government to say, okay, service chiefs, you go, let me appoint new service chiefs, so that they can articulate new vision and new ways of tackling the challenges that we have. For instance, I hear that Oluyide, for instance, is one person, one army general who believes that we just can't be using this kinetic approach, that, we need to also interface it with some non-kinetic approaches, together, marry two of them together, because we've seen that in the past it worked. Yaradua used it, it worked. So that we can do it, but maybe they need to refine it, not the way they are doing now. You need to properly refine it and make sure that it achieves the results that is intended. So I think that we have to be praying for Nigeria, because the way it is now, there's so much insecurity. There's so much we don't know what is going to happen, and I think the government is not comfortable. But I think the best solution, if you remember too, that protest, happened at the 5th anniversary of the NSAS. So there's a suspicion. Yes, there's a suspicion that it's probably an attempt, to repeat that same thing, and that it's likely that bad actors can hijack it and then turn it around again, and begin to experience the kind of thing that we saw. So all said and done, I think that this government needs to wake up. This government needs to be honest in its approach. Otherwise, if we continue this way, the northern traditional leaders are missing and they are crying. You see the Sultan, shouting that the north is devastated, by insurgency and so on. They are meeting, traditional rulers are meeting to find out a way. So it's not well with Nigeria. It's not well. That is the truth. And then I think we all need to put hands together to get the government particularly, to sort out this problem in a very honest way. So let me leave it there. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Precious.
Yes, sir, you're welcome. Mr. Charles, welcome,
yeah,
sir.
Thanks, yeah. You see, we talked about this guys coming from Nigeria. You see, our problem in Nigeria, we are lacking when it comes to birth certification and death certification. Let me take for South Africa, for example, where I'm coming from. In South Africa, when your wife wants to deliver, she must go to the hospital. When she delivers a baby in the hospital, the nurse will take all the things, all the information she needs from the mother. It is the mother that gives all the information to the nurse, not the father. Because the mother will give birth to that child. So when everything is documented in that hospital, the mother will not take it to the home office for them to give the child a national ID.
Okay.
That national ID, when the child clock 18 years old, she cannot have it on her own. But when she's not yet 18, she will have it on the paper. And everything will be put with her fingerprint. Everything will be placed on that day she was born. The fingerprint will be done. On that day she was born, not the next day. On that day, every paper is in the hospital. On the home affairs, they give to the nurses. Then, the moment somebody dies in South Africa, it's also documented. So that they will be able to do what to do proper planning in the country. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. That's why I say that. That's why I keep saying Nigeria is structured not to function. So now you can see people just coming from other countries to come and do our national education number. What is that? It's not proper. And they are doing these things deliberately so that they will get hold of the system and manipulate the system. So until we get these things right, we cannot plan as a nation. Because if you have 4 children, for example, as a father, you should be able to say, no, this is my 4 children. I know how much I'll be spending every month for their feeding, for their transport to school, for their health care, for everything you want to do. But we don't know how many we are in this country. Unlike in South Africa, we know how many we are in that country. And the government can plan and make budget that touches everybody in that area. And even put in that pay projection. The moment you are 60 years old, you qualify for pension, whether you work or you never work in the government.
So you not think saying one of the reasons why we see they get this insecurity problem, like the news about people, truckload of people coming in and all that. If we had proper data, do you think we'd have this issue?
That's what I'm saying. We don't have it, and they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. The moment I enter South Africa now today, if I leave now today, as I came from South Africa, they know that I'm in Nigeria. The moment I enter now, it will be circulated around all the border areas that have entered South Africa. Unlike in Nigeria. So we have a very serious problem. Until these things are being solved, we'll be having problem. And that is why they keep on telling us, hey, we are 250 million, we are 10 million, we are this, without proper, we're in a problem, we're a mess. Now look at what Tinubu is doing for the defense side, the coup. I don't think there's a coup in Nigeria. It's a phantom coup. That's a phantom coup, not a coup. Tinubu just want to replace Christopher Musa, the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, to place his own man, the Yoruba man. Because the Chief of Defense Staff is the highest hierarchy in the military hierarchy. Chief of Army Staff report to him, Chief of Air Staff report to him, Chief of Naval Staff report to him, even the Inspector General of Police report to him. So that's another form of state capture by Tinubu. You know what he's doing. But I don't have a problem with that. If the man is competent, it's fine. But how do you feel now that police, army, immigration, and defense staff all belongs to one region? What are we saying? That's state capture. And we cannot go anywhere. It brings in dictatorship in the system. So we're in a big mess at the end of the day. If you recall, Dr. Tiao Bali became the chief of defense staff, and he was the highest military officer at that time. He was even older than Babangida in the military. That's why they gave him that position. So we're in a big mess in this country, my dear. Until we learn to fix things right, we always get it wrong. Please, thank you, Precious, and let me just listen to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. President Akadede, greet you, sir.
I greet you back.
Make I invite your friend, Mr. Mo. Mr. Mo, good evening and welcome, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Hi, Mr. Chilaga. How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Precious, good. Yeah, let me make a comment before, because I'm on your side this time, Mr. Chilaga. Because what you said about what Precious said, that's where I'm on your side. You see, Precious is an epitome of Nigerian personal interest when it comes to what he just said. Because Precious is one of those Nigerians, or majority of Nigerians, who lack of nationalism. There's no patriotism. This is where we find ourselves. Precious, this is directly to you.
Mr. Mo, you for turn on your TV. They tell me this. Man, they look you for eye.
No. That's why I wanted to be looking. I wanted to be looking you for eye.
They look your face. As they tell me, sir, not the patriotic. Because something happened will be good news. I carry it. In fact, let me wait for you.
But yeah, not just because of the good news. It's the way you carry it, like it benefits you, just you or your people. It's not about national. There's no nationalism coming out from your mouth. I was watching you. It's all about
I don't understand. What do you mean by nationalism? That an institution placed Nigeria under under watch list and eventually removed us. I shouldn't be excited about that. That's good news that will improve businesses and the lives of some people.
My understanding is about the business that will benefit you or your river people, your side.
It's not about me. I only used myself as an example. That's not fair. That's not a fair thing for you to say, honestly. I actually want to believe you're joking. So, are you saying that the way people call me a prophet of doom, always bringing bad news all the time, that I cannot carry true news that reflects the true situation and the true story in Nigeria? That's unfair now. You don't do that to me now. Well, it's okay. It's your opinion, so let me let you go ahead.
I'm just siding Mr. Tilak on this case, okay?
You're not siding anything. Two of you are ganging up against me. Where are the women? Women supporting women. Come and help me.
Precious, you're still my sister, okay? Younger sister, we're still together, okay? So
tomorrow night they will not say I hate. You're not in the country.
It's about my own opinion. So I respect your opinion. So,
it's fine, and I respect that. I mean, this particular story, whether I would like it or not, it will benefit some people. Do you know what business owners suffer because of this? You understand?
But no. It's not in a broad context. The way you said it, that is something going to benefit you. This is why I call it personal interest.
No, I only
That's the
used
way I
myself
perceive it.
as an example. No, how can I talk about it benefiting me alone? And then this is in news about Nigeria. Does that even add up? If I'm talking about this being about Nigeria and using me as a contact and as an example that I will be a beneficiary of this, what is wrong with that? I shouldn't have given an example. Okay, I'm not even going to benefit from it at
No,
all.
President, don't kill me now. I mean, I'm just trying to make the point about nationalism, patriotism, which we are lacking. Okay, so I'm using this topic as an example.
Leave Precious, because the thing is benefiting her. Her body is beating her.
I'm glad I didn't show my face today. Precious for don't. I don't know, man. I probably didn't have I probably wouldn't be able to say what I want to say. So that's why I want to hide behind the curtain and say it how it is.
No problem. I'm under the weather. I don't have strength.
Okay, Precious, let's go. I'm only speak on two topics, but anyway, nice to have you, Mr. Chilaka and Precious, for allowing me this opportunity to speak briefly. Let me talk about this. Yeah, let me talk about this in the Kanu case. I'm looking at it from a different point of view. I think the decision for Nnamdi Kanu to represent himself, in my own opinion, is not about winning. Okay. Oh no, let me begin. I think it has come to that point right now where he has no choice but to represent himself, because this is not going to be a legal system through the judiciary. That's not going to have any decision. This been happening how many years right now? Since 2021. That's my understanding. June 21. I don't have the fact to back up, but if I'm wrong, you'll correct me. I think it's sometime June 21. But having said that, this has been going on a long time, so there won't be no legal solution. And him staying there without making a decision is not sustainable. So what he decided to do is what we call a Hail Mary. Precious, what I mean by a Hail Mary, I don't know. We play football, not the soccer we play in Nigeria. You throw the ball at the end at the end. So anybody, eventually there's no more time left. You just catch it. You hope that your people will catch it. So we call it Hail Mary. That is what Nnamdi Kanu decided to do, because there's no solution. So having said that, so I'm aligning with him for taking this decision. Is it the right? So the question we are asking right now, is it the right decision or not? To me, it's bold but risky, and I will give you my reason why. The reason why he's representing himself, is to expose, the Nigerian judicial system, just to size the narrative. He's not delusional what he's doing. Let's call it what he's doing. He's playing what I call a political cage, and he's going to the guy is very charisma and everything. He's going to represent himself. Real good. Does he have the right to do that? To my own understanding, I'm not a lawyer, but the little I know about Nigeria, he has the right to represent himself, and he can do it. Expose a lot of things in Nigerian judicial system, because we know how bastardized Nigerian system is. So he's going to bring it to international limelight. It's going to gather more attention, whether international and locally. So that's why I'm on his side, and he can do it. Whether he's going to be able to exonerate him, or he might go through the political system. That's the way I'm leaning about it. So let me talk about the second point of this case, about the weakness that he brought. I mean, this is a very compelling list of witness. So the question is that I hope we have a lawyer here, that could have given us more insight about that, about 16 witness, whether they will be compelled to, whether they be compelled to come to court. Like, is he your brother? Oh no, let me stop that. I already give you a lot of headache today, Precious. So, and we can I'm sorry for laughing. We can already agree that he's gonna come. If he's subpoena. And he can be compared, because I think I read something that the judge or motor show, whatever they call him, whatever she has already agreed. I think, is it she or he? Is that a man or woman? Precious.
Oh?
The judge, handling the case. Okay. So he has already agreed, for the subpoena of the witness. So he already signed it from what if from what I understand, but he's giving it to Nnamdi Kanu to serve them. And there's a historical precedent over this, from my understanding. I think the case is called Dansuki, the arms scandal. Remember, the witness, right? The witness were compared to come to the court. Even at all, even with their pushback, they were compared, and they actually showed up. So he stand a very good chance. And the witness he called is good example. What did he call the Lagos State governor? I thought the governor doesn't. Did the governor have the immunity? I thought it's only the president that have immunity in Nigeria.
No. All governors have immunity.
Oh, they do.
No.
Oh,
The
that's
immunity will
why.
not apply at this time. The immunity will not apply. Don't forget that Nnamdi Kanu's life is in the balance, so that immunity will not apply.
You think so? Okay.
Yes, I think it's in. I think it's in the Constitution. Is it Section 36 or what? I think it's in the Constitution that when a case involves somebody's life, that the immunity to appear as a witness does not hold water.
You probably right, because Nnamdi Kanu is a meticulous record keeper. It's not like the other guy, which is a meticulous liar. Reno, that claim to be meticulous record keeper. Nnamdi Kanu is an epitome of meticulous record keeper. So he know what he's doing for him to invite all this in. So about the Lagos case, we know about what happened in the NSAR of Sunday. So Showolu is a definite witness to call. We know about Hope Uzodinma. Hope Uzodinma have publicly come out in the public and said what's happening in the Imo State has nothing to do with IPOB Nnamdi Kanu follower. It's a political it's a political gangsterism going on in Imo State. So that's the typical example. Why Wike? We know what transpired, and I think what's the name of that city that Wike killed most of the IPOB people or something like that. So that may be reason. Right. That may be the reason why Wiki survived. Of course, the number one eyewitness is Malami. No doubt, because he's the one who, rendition Wiki. I mean, he's the one that rendition Kanu from Nigeria, whether they blindfold him or drug him or whatever. So he'll be able to give insight about actually what happened. Because if you look at I think it was the Kenya government has already exonerated him, say they don't know what happened or something like that. So there'll be a lot of implication, but I hope they show up. They're not going to use any kind of pretense about logistic or something like that, like you properly stated, Mr. Chilaka. They can be compared, and there's a precedent over that. So let them not use any excuse, but hopefully he can come out. So that's my take on that. But in a nutshell, particularly the witness that he called is, in my own opinion, is a master stroke. That is master stroke. People are just underestimating this guy. The guy is very smart. I mean, in as far as initially, I didn't agree with him with his methodology that he used, like cursing people and all that kind of things, But most of what he said has come to fruition. So let's see how that goes. So my last topic, if I have the time, is about Tinubu, nepotism or whatever, I didn't even know about the reshuffle of all these ministry, defense ministers and all until I come to this page. So I don't have the whole information about that. So I'm not going to comment about that. I'm only going to comment about the nepotism part of it. So what we have right now is, in my own opinion, from what I understand, Buhari nepotism spread throughout the north, the Hausa, maybe about 80% nepotism during that time, spread among the northern states, northeast, north central, northwest, particular northwest. But Tinubu nepotism is very centralized, it's very centralized to the southwest. So if you look at it, in my own opinion, I think the nepotism tilt more towards, what you call it? Towards our president, right now. That's where the nepotism did more. If you look at the important position and where he appointed everything, it's mostly the Yorubas, particularly, his cronies in Lagos State. So that's I put him to be a little bit higher. But we know Buhari started that nepotism. Although nepotism has been going on in Nigeria long time ago, but they have taken it to a different level. So in my own opinion, I give Tinubu, whether you want to call it a higher score or worse score, that's how I see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good night. Good night. Hello, Mr. Super. Good evening and welcome.
Pepe, how you doing, my dear sister? Happy weekend to you.
Happy weekend to you, so welcome.
And my uncle Chilaka, Dede, I greet you, sir.
I greet you back.
Okay, Pepe, I'll be brief because winter started today, you know, so cold, as I did like this, cold to catch me, you know, so.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, with a 4 degree, we did so as we did like 4
Yay!
4 degree. You feel like saying you smoke natural cigar, you know they smoke anything. When you breathe, now so smoke because your mind, from your mouth and your nose everywhere is smoke.
Oh no, why you?
And they play the part of the UK where I did, I mean the coldest in the entire UK.
You did Scotland?
I did Scotland.
Ew.
It was. But it's okay. I like Scotland because it's quite very peaceful.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's actually even more affordable than London itself.
Yeah, wow. But in fact, I had to purchase when I wanted to go. I had to purchase England. I said no, England, no way, because I went to trade it in Manchester.
Okay.
So by the time I went to Manchester, I said, look, there's no difference between Manchester and Nigeria, because the place just be like there are some areas where Nigeria, they were just doing drugs on the road. I said no, this kind of place not for me, but Scotland, you can't find any of those things here. I'm not saying it's 100%. I mean, they have their own thing, but at least for what I've seen so far, everything is absolutely, nice for me. So I'll be brief, just like I said. I want to align with that the last caller. We talk about state capture, and actually, what is really happening is just the state capture. Apart from the military personnel, all other personnel respect the CDS. No other military personnel is above the CS. Apart from the military personnel, which is the Army, Navy, Air Force, and whatnot. All other police, SCDS, DSL, whatever all the CDS is number one, and you now put your own destiny as the number one. That is also state capture. And stuff like this is making the North to feel uncomfortable, because they dismantle their structure. It's just like as Ricky said, say why you fight for Bara? Because for Bara they want to dismantle their structure. And now we are now dismantling the structure of an entire region. If you remember some time ago when I said there's going to be peak in the entire country. If you remember,
yes.
That's how I call this, so there's going to be panic, in the entire country. But along the day, what's going to happen? There's going to be a mass jubilation. A mass jubilation from the kids, from the pregnant women, from the old women, from the Gen Zs, from the entire, sometimes if I'm going crazy, if I'm going crazy, I talk, my slangs will begin to come out. So I don't want to use that slang because it's too raw for me to use on TV. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's going to be just the way it is. Let's leave it that way. And have a good night, baby.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Good night, sir. Good night. All right, let me just talk to Mr. Edwin, and then I let Prince Chilaka respond. And Mr. Edwin, good evening, sir. Welcome.
Hey, good evening, Precious. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Prince Chilaka, good evening, sir.
I remember you.
How you doing?
I'm good, though.
Yeah, I don't enjoy your contribution well this evening.
Thank you so
Precious,
much.
I just want to talk about the swearing in of this INEC chairman today. Everybody they talk.
Yesterday was maybe today.
What will be the time now? Yes, now it was sworn in today. Now, is it not?
No,
yesterday.
Oh, it was only yesterday. Okay, I just started seeing the clips today. I didn't even know it was yesterday. For you to know how disinterested I have been in that kind of system. The man is there now. If you look at it, he was appointed by Tinubu. So his loyalty is still entirely to Tinubu and the APC. Despite him coming out to say publicly that, no, I'm going to carry out my duties as a INEC chairman in order for us to have fair, credible, and transparent election. All those ones are just gimmicks. They are just grammar. We all know what transpires behind the curtains. or behind closed doors. That man has instructions to deliver the APC. And that I can categorically confirm to you. You know, whenever I make contributions here, I always tell you I can confirm this, I can confirm that. And it is the information that I have from the grapevine. You know, that is the instruction. The template they used in Edo State is what is going to come into play in 2027. Nothing is going to change it. You see all these defectors, like these governors, senators, and every one of them. Tell me, what kind of politician in his right senses will want to defer to a party that has dragged an entire nation to the doldrums? Just tell me. So what is enticing them? What is the magnet in APC? The magnet is simply because Tinubu is going to write election results for each and every one of them. There are agreements, you know. These ones have been signed, sealed, and delivered. And as I've always said, if we don't put our acts together, the entire opposition group in Nigeria and those who holds fort in Nigeria's political terrain, if they don't do that, APC will just seamlessly have their second term in 2027. And we will all be sitting down there and like what I always write, see, don't look, and nothing will happen. And then, if you look at the manner and way the National Assembly is going about the current constitutional review at a snake speed, you will just see that they are just playing to the gallery. They are just playing to the scripts of the leaders of APC. You know they won't do anything. Tinubu will not sign anything. Like as I said in my last contribution, I said Tinubu is not going to sign any review of the Electoral Act or anything. So just like the way Buhari played with time, you know, Buhari started sending back the electoral review bills. Some they have to cross the T's, dot the I's, or no punctuation mark and all those nonsense. And then it finally came down to the fact that, it was too close to the election, so we can't do anything. It's the same tactics. It's the same blueprint Tinubu is applying now. So there are no two ways about it. And that's why I say sometimes in Nigeria, are we really serious as a people or as a group of people? We aren't. Because if we are really serious and we really want to take firm grip of our democratic situation or trajectory, we know what to do. The civil society groups know what to do. Tinubu can't kill all Nigerians. He can't use the military or the police or whatever to kill every one of us. If the likes of Professor Wole Soyinka, Femi Falana, even Buhari himself, Tinubu behind the scenes could organize ceaseless demonstrations against Jonathan. And then Jonathan didn't do anything to them. He didn't arrest anybody. He didn't even arrest even the worst unknown persons among the demonstrators. Nobody was picked up. And there were no incidents of accidental discharge of arms or anything. They all demonstrated. They all had their P days. And then why can't we do it against Tinubu? We can. That's why that the man is a dictator, you know. But nobody is standing up to him because Nigerians are at the lowest ebbs of their lives. Poverty is being weaponized. The power of incumbency is being used, you know, at the highest level. All of them that are defecting, they are defecting because they are afraid of just two things. Those who have future political plans and those the governors who have second term to run for, they are afraid that they will all be swept away. So they all have to go into an agreement with the alliance and sign all these things. Imagine the governor of Plateau State, Mufwang, virtually on his knees begging APC local leaders in Plateau State for him to join a party that he was not even part of. For a party where the PDP swept all the polls across board, if not for the Wike's appeal court and all those judges that upturned virtually everything and gave APC a firm hold of the assembly there. So, and then the Supreme Court coming to the aid of the governor himself. So if you look at it, that is what is on ground. And like as I've always said, Wike is going to be Tinubu's political albatross as time progresses. And I will expatiate on that when the time comes. Because I know I have the feelers, I have the the reasons that have been adduced, the reasons coming to me, because that man is already a political baggage to Tinubu, as far as even the Northerners are concerned. Not to talk of us from the South, whom that man has insulted over and over and over, like what he did today again. And for you to know that Wike is just a political foot soldier for Tinubu, look at what he said again today in that Arise or whatever interview he granted today. Look at what he said about the PDP. Is he a member of the PDP or a member of the APC? To which group does he belong? So why is he always in defense of Anyanwu and those PDP, his PDP officials? Because he put them there, and his judge, James Omotosho, is there waiting in the background to deliver another judgment next week. You know, and the judgment will come in. PDP's national convention will be suspended. The court will give that judgment, and you can take my word to the bank, because I already have a blueprint of the judgment Omotosho is going to give. That's Wike's judge in Abuja. So that is what is on. That's what is playing on ground. And then with regards to Nnamdi Kanu, I think what is trying to do is, as far as I'm concerned, is nothing smart. Why is it that is just delaying what could eventually play into the hands of the present government? Why would you want to defend yourself in this 11th hour of it all? Your judges, your lawyer is in custody. That alone is enough for you to submit to the judge that, well, my defense lawyers are there. Why take up the case yourself? And listing people like Wike, all those guys. Does the Nigerian judicial system work? Do you think Wike is going to appear before Omotosho and do anything? Or who is going to appear there among all of them? Is it Danjuma? So I think he's just playing to the gallery, as far as I'm concerned. He should be serious about his privates. What I think he should be doing now is making his case to the foreign embassies in Nigeria, the US, the UK, and those. He's a UK national, as I understand. He's a British citizen. And the American embassy, those superpowers, let him play to those ones instead of summoning before a judge like Justice Omotosho. I beg. We play too much for Nigeria. So Nnamdi should not fall into that trap. You know, and like as I've always said, Tinubu is practicing the kind of government that I don't really know how to describe. But all that I know is that we are not practicing democracy in Nigeria, as I have often emphasized and said. It's criminal conspiracy where organized criminality, like what somebody said the other day, is what we are practicing in Nigeria. It's not democracy. And Tinubu, Wike, is the focal point for APC. And even the APC members are already complaining about him. There are top shots in the APC that have already taken his case to Tinubu and said it's either you swim or sink with Tinubu, with a Wike, or we get out of the party. He's already been given options. It's just that in Nigeria, an incumbent government or president is difficult to beat or defeat, apart from President Goodluck Jonathan, who wanted to even play to the gallery too, because if he has spent his entire 4 years trying to make sure we practice true democracy in Nigeria by revisiting the constitution, which I have always advocated to be thrown away, thrown out, just like what Mr. Olisa Bakoba said today, I think Nigeria will be better off now. Instead of him wanting to come back, run for presidency or whatever, he should take his leave. He should take his quiet time and go to his hometown in Otoke. Make he go stay there, chop pepper soup well, make he relax there, rather than wasting his time to want to come back. He will be beaten silly. And I've told you before, Precious. Mark my word. So that is it. I have a lot to say. One day I will beg you to really give me time. There are certain political foray that I want to go into, that I really want to touch on. And with the security, with the coup that happened recently, it's a coup. There was a coup. Anybody telling you there was no coup is merely deceiving his or herself. The military know that there was a planned coup, and I know, I have the information. Yeah. So there was a coup. Tinubu would have been ousted. Yes. It would have been ousted. He's merely just trying to play safe. And putting General Oloyede as a CDS is not going to save him, unless he has to retract in his present dictatorial tendencies that he has placed Nigeria and Nigerians under, without allowing any form of demonstration, any sort of revolt whatsoever, any sort of protest. You can see the crackdown. You can see the way Nigerians are being punished just for no reason. Then what is the difference between him and a military dictator? No difference. We don't want any military government back in Nigeria. But the way things are going, something must give. Something will give if Tinubu is not careful. So that is what the ball is in his court. Thank you very much, blessers. Prince Chilaka, thank you very much and good night.
All right, good night. Good night, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Prince Francis Chilaka, you have anything to say finally?
Yeah, I think people are getting it all wrong, saying that who will appear. You know, I think that the onus is on the court to ensure that the witnesses come to court. You know, I think that you know, personally, I think it's the best decision we can. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu took. You know, so let us bring this whole thing to an end. It's dragged on for too long, and so you know, extra few days, extra few months will not hurt anyone. So I think that it's the right thing he has done, and we hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. All right, Nigerians, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone. I'm not going to go follow Prince Chilaka now. Follow him for no reason. Follow him for nothing at all. Just follow him, please, at Prince Chilaka TV. And also feel free to join us here at Precious in TV. Subscribe, like, share this post. Like make it reach as many people as possible. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, God willing, with Mr. Noseke. For now, goodbye, good night, and God bless you. Bye. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.